we're good. Can you see that? I can see it. All right, I'm gonna leave it like this. Are you ready? Here we go, y'all. And I'm going to begin by clearing and cleansing the space. We're going to clear and cleanse the space with aspersion. If you joined us last time, you remember that aspersion is taking some sort of plant matter, herbs. In this case, I used some of the leaves left over from all of our white roses. And using water, I'm going to move the water around the space with the intention of cleansing and making sacred and purifying the space so that it may be our temple, so that it may be sacred. I'm moving in a counterclockwise direction because in our culture, counterclockwise indicates removal. This is sometimes called banishing, which sounds a little harsh to me. But the idea is that any spirits, entities, energies that are present who do not have our best interests at heart, who are not here to be helpful with our ritual, we ask them now to take their leave. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. We're about to do some important stuff, y'all. All right, having asperged the space, I'm now going to light the incense. And as I do so, I'm going to acknowledge the easterly direction. Winds of the east, spirits of air, creatures who fly, we invite you now to our sacred space. We ask that you bring with you blessings. We ask that you smile upon our work today. Spirits of air, we know you as inspiration. We know you as the living breath in our lungs. We feel you as the wind upon our cheek, whether you are the typhoon or the gentle breeze. You are welcome. Please join us here and make sacred this space of ritual. Moving clockwise, I send the incense smoke into the air as an offering, and I establish the sacred circle of our ritual. We welcome the spirits of air. Spirits of earth, of stone and sand, of soil and manifestation. We know you as our bones and our bodies. We know you as the food on our plates that sustains us. We know you as the crops and the livestock that we have completed, that we have harvested at this time of Samhain. Spirits of earth, we invite you to our altar. We ask that you join your magic with ours, smile upon our ritual, lend us your stability and your certainty, lend us your patience. Spirits of earth, you are welcome. Join us at our altar. Spirits of fire, we invite you to our altar to join with us in this sacred ritual. Join your magic with ours. Spirits of fire, you are the motivation, the impulse, the instinct that moves us to hunt, to seek, to change. You are what we feel when something is missing, and you are the will to chase what we need. Spirit of fire, join us at our altar. Join your magic with ours. You are welcome here. Spirit of water, you rains, rivers, and oceans, waterfalls. We know you as the blood in our veins and the nourishing streams. We know you who cleanses us and soothes us. Spirits of water, you are the intuition and the emotion, the motherly instinct that pervades all life and sustains it with love and caring. Join your magic with ours. Come to our altar. Join us in our ritual. Spirits of water, you are welcome here. I want everyone to just take a moment to feel the presence of the spirits we've called. Feel that sense of unity, aspects of the universe, and you are part of the universe. Following Druid tradition, I'm now going to call to our kindred, asking that they join us at this altar as well. We know the kindred in Druid tradition as our ancestors, the nature spirits, and the shining ones, also known as the gods and goddesses, or the divine. Ancestors, we invite you to our altar. On this day, you are celebrated most highly. On this day of the final harvest, the blood harvest, we have taken in the last of our stores to sustain us through the winter. You who have gone before taught us these rites, these means of our survival. You who have gone before loved us enough to survive. Spirits of our past, of our ancestors, those of blood and bone, those of ideal and idea, those of heart and mind, all ancestors past. We stand upon your shoulders, and now we invite you to our altar. Join us in celebration of you. Join us in our magic. Smile upon us. You are welcome here. Nature spirits, you who slither and soar, you who climb and crawl, you who are the Fae, standing in the veil, you who are both manifest and spirit, you who are the deer with your antlers reaching upward like tree branches, you who are the birds who are unencumbered by gravity. You who are the fish who move through the waters and the waves. Join us now. Bring your magic to our altar. You are welcome here. Shining ones, gods and goddesses of all time and place, beyond time, you who are the stories of heroes, you who are the cautionary tales, and the stars who shine over us are your eyes, ever watchful, infinite. Multitude of spirits beyond time and place, gods and goddesses, we invite you to our altar on this day. We ask that you smile upon our works, that you join your mighty power with ours. Gods and goddesses, you are welcome here. We are in the company of the spirits who smile upon our works. They join us in their multitudes. They urge us forward to do our magic. We magical practitioners upon this earth at this time. We who are empowered to weave the liminal, to make change from our will, to rewrite reality. And we do so now. I begin our magical working with the light of intention. It is our intention to touch the thread between the moon exalted in Taurus and full, and the sun in Scorpio. In Taurus, we feel our values. We feel our material reality on this plane and in this life. Our physical bodies and the things that sustain it. We feel gravity. We feel nourishment. We feel manifest. On the other side of the sky, the sun in Scorpio. The season of connection, interdependence, trust, and intimacy, as well as fear and an acute awareness of our mortality. As those in Western European agrarian societies met the end of the growing season on this day, they knew that what they had now to possess, to consume, and to share was all that there would be until the spring. Mortality loomed. The dead stirred. And all that we had was each other. In that spirit, I empower this crystal. If you have your quartz crystal, take it up now. And I want you to send an intention into that crystal. The intention for the collective thriving. Not just survival, but triumph over despair. Victory over the illusion of lack. What the New Age sect might call a poverty consciousness has gripped our contemporary culture, pulled the wool over our eyes, and made us feel as though there is only so much for the few. And so there are few who hoard. There are few who hide resources. There are few who would take resources, gather them in secret, and deny essential life to those who do not have the power to do so. My intention with this ritual is to free the resources, to free our minds of the illusion of lack, to awaken the spirit of generosity, of plenty, of compassion, that we share, and therefore we survive and thrive. This is the intention. I drop it into the water and send ripples through the water and out into the universe, that this intention may be carried forth. So be it. If you have your pen, get it now. You're going to start at the base of your bowl, and you're going to draw an arrow from the base of the bowl outward. We're going to end up making 8 rays from the center of the bowl. So it'll be in a circle, like an 8-pointed sun or star. You can start in any direction, doesn't matter. The first line will be an arrow pointed outward. When we send out compassion, the result is that we receive connection. With the word connection, you draw your arrow pointed inward. So now you have 2 arrows, one going out and one going in. Your next arrow is going to go out again. When we send out acknowledgement of the needs, wants, and virtues of those around us, we receive energy back. We receive their truth as they begin to feel safe showing themselves to us. You now have 4 arrows. 1 out, 1 in, 1 out, and 1 in. When we send out attention, placing our focus intentionally and deliberately to receive the information that we seek, then we do receive it. It comes back inward as illumination. We learn, we perceive, and we increase our awareness and wisdom. And finally, when we send out generosity, when we give of what we have, when we share not only our resources, but our stories, our energy, our time, all of those sacred resources come back. They come back as gratitude. Not only the gratitude that is felt by the people to whom we have shown generosity, but we feel gratitude. And that energy, the energy of gratitude, is all powerful. It can be molded into anything that we desire. It can be given to any intention to fuel it, to inspire it, and to make it real. These emerald stones, sacred to Venus, Venus who rules the full moon now, Venus who is the queen of the sign of Taurus, Venus who rose from the sea, you mighty spirit of love and connection, of compassion and unity, seal this circle. Let us heal ourselves and our communities. Let us return to a place of sharing and mutual accord. Let us return to a place and evolve beyond any place we've ever been before as a culture, as a people, as a race. Help us to grow beyond the sense of lack. Help us to banish that illusion from our minds so that we may see the truth of our unity, so that we may be compelled to serve and to help one another, that we may feel passionately motivated to give to one another, to serve one another, to take good care of ourselves and each other, that we, as a people, may thrive. And so it is. Take a moment and let the resonance of your spoken intentions, of your magical word, wash over you. Feel its effects in the universe rippling outward from you and rippling back toward you. The full moon in any sign is a time of fulfillment, but in Taurus, she is exalted. She is in the place of our visible sky that allows her to be most benevolent and powerful. On this day of Samhain, the second full moon of the month has occurred, which gives us ample power to do the seemingly impossible, to affect change that seems too great for any one person, but we are not one person. We are unity. We are legion, and we are powerful. We'll conclude our ritual by giving thanks to all of the spirits who attended, gods and goddesses. Thank you for being here with us. Your presence was acutely felt and very much appreciated. Stay if you will, go if you must. For now, we bid you farewell. Nature spirits, thank you for being with us, for lending your energy and your magic to this ritual. Your presence was acutely felt. Stay if you will, go if you must. For now, we bid you farewell. ancestors, your presence was acutely felt. Our grandparents, our teachers and philosophers, our inventors and storytellers. Your presence is acutely felt on this day in particular. We send you our love and our gratitude. Stay if you will, go if you must. For now, we bid you farewell. Spirits of water, we thank you for your presence in our ritual, for lending your power to ours. Stay if you will, go if you must. With gratitude, we bid you farewell. Spirits of fire, thank you for being with us in our ritual, for lending your power to ours. With gratitude, we bid you farewell. Spirits of earth and manifestation, thank you for joining your power with ours and for being present in our ritual. With gratitude, we bid you farewell. Spirits of air, thank you for joining us in our ritual, for blessing our space and rendering it sacred. With gratitude, we bid you farewell. The flame of our intention is extinguished, but our magic lives on and moves out into the world to create the change of our intentions. So be it. Our work is done and our ritual is ended. Alrighty guys, woohoo! We did it! Ah, I'm so excited. All right, I want to give you a better shot of the altar. You see everything? Before I have to take all this down. I think I'm going to leave it up for quite a while, actually. As long as I can get away with it. And you know what? I did actually bring cards. So if you'd like, even if you don't like, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards so that we have an oracle or a divination to complete our ritual. So without further ado, where did I put this? I'm going to put this over here. All right. Let's throw some cards, y'all. It's been so amazing having you here. I love all these messages. I'm going to read them. So Venusian. Thanks, Patricia. All right, here we go. So, we're going to ask hi, Terry. You guys are welcome. Thank you for being here, especially y'all who had to wake up at like an ungodly hour. Okay. Okay, so they want to talk about, since this is in many magical traditions considered the new year, we're going to take a look at the new year. So happy new year, y'all. This will be a general reading, not for anyone in particular. Certainly not for me, because my cards love to yell at me, so I don't often do readings for myself. Okay. Got a jumper. I like to call that one, that's the Four of Swords, by the way. I like to call that one the meditation card. I'll give you a wide angle shot of the entire reading when I'm done, so that y'all who speak tarot can make your own interpretations. Here we go. I'm doing an astrological wheel spread. So there will be 12 cards in a circle representing the 12 houses, and a central card, which was our jumper, telling us the central issue of the coming year. Also, I'm doing this because I just don't want to say goodbye just yet. Nice. Okay. Well, certainly not as much doom and gloom as I was fearing we might see. What I'm looking at here is a statement about stillness and silence. You and I were brought up in a culture that that applauds industry, both in the larger sense of making things and selling them, but in the more personal sense of, are you busy? We think that busy people are more valuable people. We think that people who are constantly stressed out because they've got so much to do and so much on their schedules, that is somehow a preferred way of life, and that people who do less are less valuable, that they are lazy. And I think one of the things that's going to be wonderful about the coming year is that we will be looking at that cultural understanding and revisiting it and hopefully revising it. We're moving forward as a culture. That in the first house I've got the Six of Swords, which is moving on, evolving past old ideas. The King of Cups in the second reminds us that our value system must not rely so much on material things and material productivity, but on how do you feel. The Sun in the third offers clarity and truth in communication, which we could certainly use. Also, a certain refreshing, I mean, honesty is always refreshing, but there is this sense of innocence, like, you know what, if I just told you exactly what was on my mind right now instead of dancing around it, and give you the power to respond to it as you will rather than trying to control your response, this might go better. So hopefully we'll get better at doing that. King of Swords in the fourth, that that's making me feel a little bit like our idea of home and our idea of that protective shell that we put around ourselves, whether that is our literal place of residence or a more emotional sense of, am I safe? Am I in a place in my life where the floor beneath me, the figurative floor beneath me is solid? And I think the King of Swords in that place makes me feel like we're going to also revisit the idea of home and of family and of safety, and give ourselves an opportunity to maybe reinvent that a little bit and let it become updated according to our current needs, rather than an outmoded set of needs that probably no longer apply. Queen of Cups in the fifth, I feel like our joy and our sense of play is going to be very much based on togetherness, which makes a lot of sense. We've spent a lot of time isolated from one another and separated, and so just getting together and being in each other's presence and connecting emotionally, I think, is going to play a large part in how we have a good time. That's a also a really good indication that this COVID nonsense is going to get wrapped up and allow us to be safely in the same spaces with each other. But I'm presuming on that point, so don't quote me. The star in the 6th, I really like. The star to me as an Aquarian person feels like innovation and moving beyond what has been and allowing things to evolve beyond what we had imagined before. In the 6th house, our day-to-day routines, our patterns and our rhythms, yeah, I mean, doing things differently on a regular basis, the very rhythms of our day-to-day life are completely rewritten now. As well, they will continue to be. I don't think things are going to go back to normal as we knew them before. I think we're going to evolve past that and create a normal that's far more functional and more adaptable to crazy stuff like COVID. All right, the 7th house, I've got the 2 of Pentacles. The concept of sharing that we were talking about in ritual is coming to me intuitively here. I'm also getting the sense that the rising tide lifts all the boats. If you use the Pamela Coleman Smith deck, then you notice that there are boats in the background on a roiling ocean. This notion of prosperity as a limited thing, I think, is going to really be disassembled and deconstructed, which I would love to see. In the 7th house, that has to do with our conversations with each other, our friendships, our negotiations, our flirtations. And it will be a subject of a lot more discussion, and we'll strategize with each other how to make our resources more widely available, less dependent upon things like the ability to do labor and stuff. I know that my socialism is showing. I'm not ashamed. 8th house, the 10 of Cups in the 8th, beautiful. So when we do take our discussions and negotiations of the 7th house and put them into practice in the 8th house as an actual interaction and interdependence, a blending of not only our emotional resources but our material resources, and we have to trust each other. The 10 of Cups makes me feel like, we did it. That there is a sense of graduation, a sense of achievement, and since that is not showing up as a Pentacles but as a Cups, I really love that, because one thing that's great about working Venusian, if you remember from the ritual, Venus is the ruler of today's full moon. She reminds us that if we're going to have prosperity, it has to matter. It has to feel good. You know, if you have lots and lots of money, but you don't spend it on things that create joy for you or help you to create joy for others, why? Ace of Cups reiterates that notion in the 9th house. 9th house of higher learning, travel, but more, if you were going to like broaden that concept of higher education and travel, also religion, and look at it from more of an anthropological standpoint, the 9th house to me is very much about taking yourself out of your routine, out of the 6th house, and putting yourself in a position to explore things that are completely alien to you, so that you can really broaden your horizons and really get a sense of other, and really break down the illusion of normal. So the Ace of Cups in that place, I just love it. I think that speaks highly of our ability to approach otherness with a newfound sense of respect and compassion and receptivity and just divine feminine. 10th house, the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is a funny little card. Again, the Pamela Coleman Smith illustration of the 5 of Wands. They look very fighty, but they're not using actual weapons. They're using these blossoming, blooming, leafy sticks that my son thinks look like carrots. So that's kind of funny. They're fighting with carrots. So this is sparring. This is training. This is not an actual battle. This is the difference between a personal trainer showing up at your house at 6 in the morning being like, get up, we're gonna go run. And a bully showing up at your house at 6 in the morning and being like, get up, I'm gonna kick your ass. So I think facing difficulty with a greater spirit of its potential for generating growth and inspiring growth in us is also a real good thing. For that to show up in the 10th house means that we're not dealing with something that is just day-to-day, you know, pragmatic, get things done. The 10th house for me is the house of career with a capital C. Not your job, but the thing that you do because it gives you a sense of raison d'etre, like why am I here? What is my role in the world? And how should I employ my skills and talents in a way that is meaningful, not just for myself? The Hermit in the 11th, interesting. So the 11th is hopes, fears, ideas about the future, and community. For the Hermit to show up there is very interesting. I confess I'm not entirely sure how to translate that. There's a couple of ways that that could go. If we're looking at our central issue and placing that in context, I would say that our aloneness, our independence, our functional independence is going to give rise to a much more healthy ability to interact and be compassionate with each other and be receptive to otherness in people. If you've ever been to Burning Man or read much about Burning Man, there is an idea of radical inclusion and radical self-sufficiency. And what's cool about the idea of radical self-sufficiency in that context is if you're taking really good care of yourself, you leave the door open for fewer problems that other people might have to solve for you. So don't be a sparkle pony. The Fool is our 12th house card, which makes me super duper happy. The Fool is the blank slate. I mean, even the absence of a slate, you know, there isn't even a slate yet. There's absolute, pristine, innocent, open possibility for anything. And again, as an Aquarian, super dig that, like, no holds barred. So for that to be our outcome card makes me feel really good about the coming year. So if we're counting today as New Year's Day in pagan traditions and magical traditions, then hooray, looks like we got a really good year ahead. Thank goodness. All right, so I'm gonna let you see these cards and then I'm gonna say goodbye, even though I don't want to, because this is super fun and I wanna like do this all the time now. All right, hold on. Oh. Can you see it? Monica, I'm gonna ask you later on chat what your translation of these cards is, so pay particular attention. Stephanie wants to know what was H2 and H3. The second house is... I don't want to say goodbye either, Anastasia. I miss you. This is second house, King of Cups. This is third. I'm laying on my floor. This is the third house, the Sun. Hi, Terry. All right, everybody. With tremendous love and tremendous gratitude, your presence has been deeply felt, and I don't want to let you go, but I'm going to. Farewell. Have a wonderful one. Happy New Year. Happy Halloween. Blessed Samhain.